The crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the most important moment in human history, the most important fact to the claim of Christianity. And yet it almost seems like the crucifix offends just as many Christians today as it does non-Christians. Now, immediately someone's going to come comment saying, that's not what Jesus looked like. To which I respond saying, duh. Same thing when it comes to my crucifix. They say, that's not Jesus on your crucifix. Yeah, I know. But clearly both of these images get to the point of saying we represent Jesus because the first thought you had is, well, that's not really Jesus. Nothing here says these images are supposed to be Jesus. And I can't help but think only the enemy could plant the idea where images reminding people of what God did for us are bad. Or that the crucifixion in general is ew. Christ is risen, yes, we know. But by Christ's blood are we cleaned. The scripture says that the cross is foolish to those that are perishing, but to us, it is the power of God unto salvation. Why do I wear a crucifix? Because every day I want to make it very clear to myself that Christ got on a cross for me, for you and you and you and you. So even when I meet people, I'm reminded before I get my ego up and my pride up, Christ got on that cross for that person just as much as me. It is the symbol of our faith. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, when I came to you, I decided to know nothing but Christ crucified. In chapter 1, he explains to us why God chose the cross. You see, God chose what is weak to man to show off his strength, what is foolish to man to show off his wisdom. So if you look at the cross and you see foolishness, then maybe you don't understand the viewpoint that God has of the cross. Remember, Peter said, no, Lord, I'll never let you be crucified. That can't be done. Jesus said, get behind me, Satan, because Peter opposed the cross. The cross to me is the greatest demonstration of power that you could ever imagine. When people mock Christianity and say, oh, your God died on the cross, your Jesus went to the cross, got killed on the cross, he was naked on the cross, that's not an insult. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now hear me out. While on that cross, naked, beaten, torn apart, skin open, can't breathe, can't pull in oxygen, you know what he did? He saved the entire world. You know what you would do on that cross? Barely gain a breath. In what would be man's weakest and most fragile point possible, God demonstrated more power than any man could ever have combined. Think about that for a second. In what would be our weakest moment ever, hanging on a cross, naked, beaten, torn apart, ribs showing, meat tore up, suffocating because your arms is nailed up here, and just, you could barely get 3 breaths in on your own. Jesus saved the world in that position. And then on the 3rd day, he got back up. I don't know if y'all understand what a power flex is. Can you imagine if your worst enemy was like, yo, listen, I'm about to solve this problem right now. Kill me. No, go ahead, kill me. And then you did it and he stood back up. Who's the weak one in that situation? You think he is because he let you do it? And on top of all of that, do you want to know how much more power I see in the cross? When Christ rose from the grave, that proved he was who he said he was, which should make you think so much more about when he told him, if this was my kingdom, my legions of angels would come down here and get me. He wasn't joking. If he wanted to, he could have been rescued. He said, none of y'all take my life. I lay it down. And when he rose from the grave, he proved all that to be true. You talking about power. The greatest power that you can imagine is the ability to withhold power when you can abuse it easily. Jesus, knowing he can literally wipe all of them out right on the cross, sat there and suffered for you. The only thing you could do from the cross is die. Jesus on the cross gave life. God took what was weak to man to show off his power and strength, what is foolish to man to show off his wisdom. So as I said, to the world, the cross is foolish, but to you and I, it is the power of God unto salvation. I am not ashamed of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The infinite God of the universe, who never deserved an ounce of pain, came into the flesh and took on pain for you and me. That's the greatest action of love I could ever imagine. God loses nothing when he does any miracles. It causes him no loss of power, no exhaustion, nothing. He can cure sicknesses, raise the dead, give people food from heaven. Easy, 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 easy. The cross wasn't as easy as that. We know that because Jesus said, Father, if it be your will, let this cup pass from me. Even though we know inevitably he's getting on the cross and there was no chance he didn't get on that cross, from that moment on, it's a little bit less easy than everything else God has ever done. Because it was something God doesn't have to feel. He doesn't have to feel pain. But for us, he was willing to do so. There's no greater act of love ever than that. So I will always bring to remembrance the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. God bless and go in peace.